What if I told you the difference between a good character and an unforgettable one comes down to one thing? It's not their tragic backstory, not their razor-sharp wit, it's what they want, their goal. In this video, I'm going to show you how to sharpen the central goal for your lead character and why it's the engine that powers every great story. We'll break it down using Mad Max Fury Road, Lady Bird, The Bear, Alien, and Black Swan, because in each one, the characters are driven by a goal so clear, so personal, and so loaded with tension, it fuels every scene. What's happening, party people? This is James A. Hurst, internationally tolerated screenwriter, story expert, and manic pixie dream girl, and this is my channel where I help writers and other sketchy misfits write the story that writes their future. This is the first video in a 5-part series called The 5 Layers of Great Character. It's based on the character development method I've been teaching writers for the last few years. By the end of this video, here's what you'll know how to do. Craft a clear, active goal that drives every scene, avoid the mistakes that make goals weak or undefined, build tension by making your character's goal conflict with who they are. And stick around to the end because I share a free resource on how to develop characters with my 5-layer character builder. It's like IKEA instructions for characters, but unlike IKEA instructions, there's only a slim chance you'll end up crying on the floor at 3 a.m. Let's get this done. The first rule of a great character goal is simple. We have to be able to see it. A lot of writers, especially earlier in their careers, give their hero a vague internal goal like, I want to find myself, or I want to come to terms with grief. But that's like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. A visible goal is something the character does, not just something they feel. It's an external pursuit we can track, and it's what gives shape to the plot. In Mad Max Fury Road, Furiosa's emotional goal is redemption, but what makes it dramatic is the visible goal. Get the wives to the green place. That's a literal destination. You can't get more literal than that. It's not like she's trying to get them to a metaphorical place like self-acceptance or Belgium. To achieve her central goal, she'll have to outrun war boys, evade capture, and take on a tyrant with a respiratory system made entirely of garden hoses. Every scene in Fury Road is powered by her central goal, and even when the green place turns out to be a myth, the goal shifts, but it never disappears. So if your plot is feeling like it's drifting, start here. Give your hero something they want so badly, they're willing to chase it through fire, and give the audience a way to watch them try. But maybe you're not writing an action film. Maybe your script is intimate, emotional, grounded. You're thinking, do I really need a central goal for my coming-of-age movie? Yeah, you do. There's a common misbelief among screenwriters, especially those writing dramas, indies, or character pieces, that goals are just for action movies, that if your story's about emotion, you can just vibe your way to the end. But here's the truth. The quieter your story, the clearer your goal needs to be. Let's take a look at Lady Bird.
I want to go where culture is, like
How in
New
the world
York,
did I raise such a
or at least
snob?
Connecticut or New Hampshire,
Well,
where
you
writers
couldn't
live in the
get
woods.
into those schools anyway.
Her goal, get into an East Coast college. It's not life or death, but for her, it feels like it is, because underneath her goal is a need to escape, to reinvent herself, to be seen, and that one objective shapes every decision she makes in the story. It drives conflict with her mom, it adds weight to every discussion, every lie, every fight. We care because we know what she wants, even when she can't say it out loud. So if you're writing something grounded and character-driven, great. But don't skip the central goal. It's not reserved for blockbusters. It's the thing that gives your quiet story a pulse. Without it, your story is technically dead, which is illegal in the state of California. Trust me, my friend CJ is doing time there for a week midpoint. But maybe your story isn't about one person at all. Maybe it's an ensemble, a swirl of personalities and arcs. So you might be thinking, if I pick one goal, won't that just flatten everyone else into sidekicks? Not if you do it right. Let me show you what I mean. Here's something fascinating about your brain. In a story, it doesn't just like characters to have goals, it demands them. There's a neural system in your head called the neural story net, which I know sounds a little egg-headed, so this mother lover is going to break it down for you real quick. The neural story net is a network of regions in our brains hardwired to interpret the world as a story. And here's the twist. That system can't process information unless it can make sense of it as a story. And the way it makes sense of the story is through two things: a character and, you guessed it, a goal. Psychologists call it the make sense mandate. If the brain doesn't understand what a character wants, it tunes out. So no goal, no story, no empathy, no interest. Just a shrug emoji in your prefrontal cortex. But when we see a character with a clear goal, something urgent, visible, personal, our brains go, ah, that's someone I can follow. That's a story I can make sense of. So we've covered 3 rules so far. Rule number 1, your character's goal must be visible and active. Rule number 2, it must shape the entire story. Rule number 3, without a goal, your audience's brain literally checks out. Now let's kick it up a notch, because a strong goal doesn't just guide your main character, it can align your entire cast. So if you're writing an ensemble, you might be thinking, okay, this James guy is one funky mother lover, but this whole thing about an active goal, it doesn't really apply to my story because my story isn't about one hero. It's an ensemble, multiple characters, multiple arcs. So if I pick a single goal, doesn't that just turn everyone else into sidekicks? And we all know that being a movie sidekick is like being the friend who holds everyone's purse at the club. You left stand there like, has anyone seen my character development? I think I left it in the bathroom. Thing is, even for an ensemble, especially for an ensemble, you need a central goal. And this mother lover has got the perfect example. Season 1 of The Bear. In my mind, Season 1 of The Bear was a high watermark for TV writing. There are so many great characters in this ensemble, but what unites them is the central goal: save the family restaurant. That's not just Carmi's goal, it's the gravity pulling everyone in. And every character approaches that central goal from a different angle. Sydney wants to build something worthy of her ambition, Richie wants to stay relevant, Marcus wants to elevate dessert into art, Tina wants to prove she can still grow. The motivations are different, but they're united by the same goal. This united goal ties all the different threads together and gives laser focus to what might have been an overwhelming clash of characters yelling, "Corner!" But this united central goal does something even better than that. It elevates the conflict and puts it at a fever pitch, because everyone in that kitchen is trying to do the same thing: save the family restaurant. This is what we call contentious conflict, when characters have the same goal but disagree, sometimes violently, about how to achieve it. And no film weaponized this technique better than Alien. Some smart person, might have been me, said the real tension in Alien doesn't come from the xenomorph, it comes from the crew. Everyone aboard the Nostromo shares a common goal: survive the alien. But everyone has a different way to do it. Ripley wants to use logic to outsmart it, Parker wants to use brute force to kill it, Lambert just wants to bail and abandon ship, Dallas wants to come to a consensus on how to destroy it, and Ash, well, let's just say Ash is working his own agenda.
We found this laying there. No blood. No Dallas. Nothing.
Unless somebody has got a better idea. We'll proceed with Dallas's plan.
What?
The shuttle won't take 4.
Well, then why don't we draw straws?
I'm not drawing any straws. I'm for killing that goddamn thing right now.
Okay. Well, let's talk about killing it. We know it's using the air shafts. Will you listen to me, Parker? Shut up!
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
It's using the air shafts.
We don't know
That's
that.
the only way. We'll move in pairs. We'll go step by step and cut off every bulkhead and every vent until we have it cornered, and then we'll blow it the fuck out into space. Is that acceptable to you?
In that scene, you can see it. The crew of the Nostromo are united by the same goal, but divided over how to achieve it. It's a perfect storm of conflict. So, yes, a strong central goal can unify your ensemble while tearing them apart. But what if you're not writing an ensemble? What if the conflict isn't between characters, but inside just one? Some writers think that strong central goals require strong characters. So if your character is meek and passive, then they can't possibly have a strong goal. But this is a misconception that we're about to shatter, because the right goal will turn even the most passive protagonist into one bad mother lover. It's like coffee for your story, but without the need to pee every 5 minutes. Let's take a look at the movie Black Swan. Nina's central goal is to give the perfect performance, to master both the white swan and the black swan, to be seen as a true artist, not just a flawless technician. But here's the trap. To play the black swan, Nina has to surrender control, let go, embrace chaos. The very traits that made her great, discipline, restraint, are the same ones she has to destroy to achieve her central goal. And that's what drives the tension. We're not just watching a ballerina pursue a dream, we're watching a person slowly fracture, trying to hold together two contradictory needs. Nina's strong central goal forces her out of her passivity and into action, even if that action ultimately breaks her. So if your protagonist feels passive, don't panic. Just give them a goal that forces them to become active. So now you've got the 6 rules for crafting a killer central goal. It must be visible and active. It must shape the entire story. It must be clear enough for the audience's brain to follow. It must unite the ensemble. It must divide the ensemble. And it must force your protagonist to make impossible choices. But knowing the rules isn't the same as using them. It's like knowing the rules of Fight Club, but still talking about Fight Club, which I just did. Damn it. So how do you actually apply these rules to your screenplay or your novel? Let me show you a simple test that I use. So to make sure I've got a strong central goal for my story, I get out a piece of paper or I open my laptop and I ask myself these 3 questions. Can I film the goal being pursued? If the answer is no, it's too internal. 2, will pursuing this goal create active opposition? If your character can chase the goal without pissing anyone off, there's no conflict and no story. 3, does this goal force my character to sacrifice something they value? If your character can win and stay the same, the goal isn't strong enough. They need to lose something, like their innocence, their comfort, or at minimum, their Netflix password. If you answered yes to all 3 of these questions, you've got a goal that can fuel an unforgettable story. But remember, this is just the first layer in my 5-layer character builder. The central goal is what your character wants, but the next layer is what's going to make them the perfect hero for your story. In the next video, I'm talking about the gift, the strength, ability, or unique essence that makes your protagonist the right character for your story. That's it for this video, party people. Don't forget to grab your free character building resource. It'll walk you through each layer of the character builder and help you build a character that can carry your movie or your series or even your novel. And hey, if you want to help me grow this channel, would you do me a favor and share this video with a friend? Specifically, share with your friend who's been working on their screenplay for the last 7 years. You know who I'm talking about, Kevin. That mother lover needs this video more than I need the views, and that's saying something. This is James A. Hertz for Screenwrite, reminding you don't need anyone's permission to start creating, so greenlight yourself and start writing that story or script that writes your future. Be easy, stay awesome, and keep writing.